Habari ma Africa, mimi na King. Nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Guys, today I want to cover the interview that the Student Command leader Sihle Lonzi had there at City Press. I think there's some things that he has said there that we need to talk about, because there's so many questions we need to ask about the EFF, about their mindset, where they see themselves going in the future, how they're going to recover the lost ground in some of the varsities. You know, they did exceptionally well in 2023, taking almost all of the varsities, but in 2024, it didn't quite work out the way they thought it would, and they are trying to win back the lost ground. They have at least one, I think, the University of KwaZulu-Natal, but in most varsities where they were dominating last year, they simply, did not perform well. And there's this issue about the use of the EFF standing up against the MK party, especially Sihle. Sihle has been very vocal to remind people that, listen guys, we are not the same as the MK party. We are totally different from the MK party. South Africans must not make a mistake to think that the EFF and the MK party is one thing. Why so much anger towards the former DP Floyd Shivambu, attacking him on X, and Sihle saying, no, we are simply stating the truth. We are not attacking him. We are talking about facts, the things that the deputy president stood for when he was in the EFF. He has now stood against those things when he is in the MK party. Let's talk about this interview and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Blackheart, the hustle continuer. Made to inspire your goals and dreams. 100% good quality clothes are now available at affordable prices. T-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, bucket hats, and more. Place your orders now. 06847366908. Instagram Black7576. Facebook page Blackheart.
You know what is so frustrating about Parliament and the portfolio committees is that someone can stand up and make the most forward-looking, proper argument, policy proposal, and then these goggles of the ANC, they just vote against it. Like others, they don't even participate. They are literally MPs of the ANC who only go to Parliament to vote. They don't speak in the meetings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we can count with our hands how many ANC MPs we've heard their voice.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjeva Sono, Mr. Easy Imali Nengi, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I'm covering, I guess, one of the future leaders of the economic freedom fighters, Sihle Lonzi. I mean, what an exceptional leader, eh? What a brave young man. Only 26 years old. Sihle has done well as a leader of the Student Command, now changing from next year to the Youth Command. I mean, I can't point out a lot of wrong that he has done, but I think every time you get too close to power as a youth leader, you open a distance between you and the youth, if you know what I'm saying. We saw it with our Colin Malaji in Parliament. Like, immediately you get into Parliament and your salary is above 100,000, it becomes very difficult to relate to the issues of the youth. And I'm not saying that the youth must be kept far from power, but I'm saying I've yet to see a youth leader who went to Parliament in their mid-20s and remained the same. You guys will correct me on the comment section. Under Sihle, the Student Command has grown in leaps and bounds, especially in 2023. We saw him, leading a student command to winning TUT, UJ, Vets, Solplaiki University, and all of those. He did very well. But in 2024, he could not replicate those results. So it's something that he was asked about in this interview. What did he think about the performance of the student command in 2023 or in 2024?
Take me through the performance of the EFF Students Command. We had elections in campuses, and I know there are certain campuses where the EFF Student Command is performing your VETS, your WUSU, your TUT. Based on the observations from these results, what is your take on the results in different campuses?
Look, I think last year we did exceptionally well in all the institutions of higher learning in South Africa. And then this year, although we gained new ground in certain institutions, for example, the University of KwaZulu-Natal, which we had lost last year, we won it this year. We also saw that we lost ground in institutions that we had won last year. For example, the example you made about Wits University, we won it last year, we lost it this year. The same applies with UWC, Nelson Mandela University, and the likes. So what then we must be able to develop as a student and movement of young people is how do we hold our SRC members across the country accountable so that they deliver on the promises and commitments that they've made to students. It must not be easy for the EFF-SC to win this year and lose the following year. So the leadership now is beginning to discuss some form of monitoring at a central level where we're able to monitor the work that our employees are doing across campuses in South Africa so that we don't have a situation where students are unhappy with some of them and then we lose ground. But in general, we're very happy.
So I'm speaking from experience when I speak about the SRCs of colleges, because I was a deputy president and the treasurer general of the Northern Cape FET College. I lost the seat of presidency with just a few votes. But anyways, building up to elections of the SRCs in every college and universities, you need to have some type of activities that keep the youth or the student engaged. Post the election results, you win or lose, you need to have additional programs that is going to keep the youth busy so that you can build for next year. I think the EFF made a mistake. After they won, they thought because the base of the EFF is the student or the youth, they took it lightly that they would forever win. Of course, nobody saw the MK party coming. I mean, the MK disturbed them in TUT, disturbed them in many places. And SASCO came back. The ANC has also won some ground. For example, in the University of Solplaiki here, I mean, they did excellent, and the EFF got, I think, only 2 seats of 18 or something like that. It's terrible how they performed here. So I'm saying the youth needs to be kept busy. The youth of South Africa are a youth that follows trends. And I'm saying this, Sihle, I hope, Ntonayam, you're going to see this video, because I've said this quite a few times. I did try to speak to Sihle when he was here with the 11th anniversary, but he was so busy, we could not properly sit together. So I'm saying formulate programs for each province, for each for the youth of each programs. A simple program like raising money to build a clinic in Northwest, raising money to build a flushing toilet in the Eastern Cape, raising money to build a pavement or what can you build? A borehole in Limpopo. I don't know. Just have activities that are linked to the society, because you guys are saying you don't want to call yourself student command, you're saying youth. So the easy way to link the youth to the students of the varsities and colleges, just create programs that are going to keep the youth of the varsity and the youth that are unemployed in the townships and in the villages busy with a program, and you raise funds. In that manner, you're going to keep the youth occupied with meaningful programs. And I've been saying this, Sihle, you have to listen to me. I mean, right now, you are even in a position close to being able to fund these programs yourself, because you are in parliament now. You are close to power. So you are not close to power. You are in power as a young man. Julius Malema did very well to put Sihle there. So I'm hoping, for me, if I have a jump, for example, right now, I'm getting paid less than 21,000. If I have a jump between 21,000 and my next month's salary is over 125,000. I mean, some of the things that we are talking about in Paseta and whatever, I'll just fund them myself. You understand what I'm saying? Some of the programs in the community, I'll just fund them myself. I know it's easier said than done, but some of us have done it before. So, I mean, just fund these programs yourself. I don't know. It's too much money. It's too much money when you come from almost no salary as a student, or you're working in a place where you're getting paid less than 21,000 rand to getting 100 and something thousand rand in your account. I know the parties take a portion of that, and tax takes a portion of that, but still, you still take home more than 90,000 rand to 80,000 rand. So that is something. And Sihle says, for the survival of the EFF, they need to differentiate themselves from the MK party.
But we're going to maintain our position to say, for the survival of the EFF, we must be able to clear this confusion that South Africa seems to have, that us and the MK were one thing. We're not. We're the EFF. We're pushing economic freedom in our lifetime. We've got very clear policies that we must go and spread to the people of South Africa. So we're not the same with these guys. So we are doing this thing for the survival of our movement. And it's a case that we'll keep making to our leaders until hopefully they finally get it and we're out of this so-called caucus. And then we meet only when we agree on certain issues in Parliament.
The only people that view the EFF and the MK as the same thing is white monopoly capitalists. Let's be honest. We as Africans, we understand that the MK party and the EFF is not the same thing. Correct me on the comment section if I'm right or wrong. We understand that they might be fishing in the same pond, but they are quite different parties. They are a different type of left-wing parties. The EFF was seen for some time as the radical youth movement with a youth base, and the EFF was seen as that political party that will challenge anything that is happening in parliament. The EFF is no longer that party. To a certain extent, you can say they have dumbed it down. And I've always said about Julius Malema must take youth that have the same energy that they had in 2013, in 2016, in 2018, because they can't run with the same speed that they were running back then. You understand what I'm saying? Because they are looking at the funding, securing funding for the party, securing, the future of the party. So I agree, they need to differentiate themselves from the MK party, but they are not doing that to us Africans. We understand that the MK is different. The MK is about the land, the constitution, and the unity of African people. The African parties, progressive parties. To an extent, the EFF too, but the MK has shown us in a short space of time of 6 months that they can outmaneuver themselves with a bigger number of support than the EFF. So I think the EFF, when it comes to differentiating themselves with the MK, they need to be realistic, because there will be a lot of humbling pie that must be eaten in the 2026 local elections. They need to be realistic with their the growth that they are aiming for in the 2026 elections. It's going to be, guys, 2026 can't come sooner. Hopefully, some of us will be still here doing, political commentary. But for me, they need to work a lot as the EFF, because Buffett, it's not easy. The relationship between them and the MK, I think Abu Sihle and most EFF members are choosing to see only the negative from that relationship. But I'm saying, if they are truly political geniuses and they know what they are doing, the same thing that the MK is doing to them, they can do to the MK. Because remember, in a vote to the EFF or vote to the MK, it's not a vote lost to the left parties, progressive parties. It's not like you're moving from EFF and MK and voting IFP. You understand? So for me, whether you vote for either, I know at the end of the day, we will be able to sit down in one table. For me, I don't know about you. So the EFF needs to come back with a strategy that this relationship between them and the MK works into their advantage, and they stop complaining. You are fishing our leaders away. You're taking this person. You're taking that person. For me, it's something that they need to really think about. How can we make this relationship or this situationship between us and the MK work for our advantage? Also, Sihle was asked about, the little tweet fights that they've been having with Floyd Shivambu, and this is what he said.
So, following this interview by Usizwe Wash with Floyd, you were accused of insulting the MKP members, you, Snawo, Siko. And on the other side, Malema came forward to say, this is the constitution of the EFF. How did you feel pertaining those statements that you are insulting that particular movement?
Look, we're not. I think people are allergic to the truth. They are scared of the truth. We're not insulting them. We're simply reminding them of their own principles. Okay, look at what Floyd is upset about. We say to Floyd, when you were in the EFF, you never believed in parliamentary sovereignty. Like you didn't. Like, we're not lying. These are literally, like, he used to bastardize. I remember the two people who spoke about parliamentary sovereignty a lot was Mkhwebane and Jimmy Mani. So, and he used to rubbish them, like, no, you can't do this because you can't. He even made the example to say, actually, apartheid is a product of parliamentary sovereignty, because you can't leave basic human rights at the hands of a political majority, because a political majority can be taken by a reactionary for some time. And then just because people have 50% plus one in parliament, they can pass a law saying, we're no longer going to recognize the right to life. We're no longer going to recognize the right to this and that. So part of having a constitutional democracy, even though we must change the constitution so that it serves the people, is that we need to have a set of principles that are non-negotiable. The right to life, the right to liberty, freedom, and whatever. So he used to tell that to us, even before we knew these concepts. And then he goes to the MK party, and then he says, no, we want parliamentary sovereignty. Then we remind him, we say, no, but Mebra, this is not what you used to say. Secondly, he goes to MKP and says he doesn't believe in conferences because conferences are going to divide, people are going to buy. The same guy, when he was in EFF, used to say a non-negotiable fundamental principle of Leninism is elected leadership. So you can't just wake up and say, no, Sihle is the chairperson of what, this is the chair. You must go through a democratic process that must obviously be guided. Elect leadership. So what they don't like, we just remind them of themselves to say, you have clearly sold yourself out, you have clearly sold out principle because you are now pushing an agenda that does not represent what you used to stand for. And then they say that is insults. And then with the MKP, we remind them that, guys, this 82-year-old that you are now trying to sell to the people of South Africa was the most powerful citizen in South Africa for 9 years. He had all the power to a point where the first 5 years of that 9 years, not only did he have influence over South African affairs, he had influence over the affairs of his own political party. People feared him. He expelled members of the Youth League. He was running this thing on his own. Why didn't he do all these progressive things that he's promising the people of South Africa to do now? We're not insulting. So we're simply asking the correct questions to say, this guy is saying he's going to bring land and change the economy, but he was there, he was given opportunity. When he was even younger and more energetic and fresh, now he's 82 years old, how is he going to deliver on that? So we have a responsibility to dismantle the lie that the MK party led by Zuma is now this new thing that is going to save the people of South Africa, when in fact this guy was in government. So we're not insulting. They are simply uncomfortable with the truth because it exposes them to the people of South Africa that these are not principled individuals, but they are going there to push whatever agenda it is that they want to push, and they are going there to personally enrich themselves.
I have to commend the bravery of Sihle, because I think the young man has taken it upon himself to defend the EFF. Remember, Julius Malema has said, you guys have to remember the constitution of the EFF. And the EFF says members of the EFF must defend the EFF when it's under attack. Julius Malema was very angry, in fact, at one point when Floyd left, to say some of the big leaders with a big following on social media are saying absolutely nothing. He was speaking to Dalim Pofu and Dr. Mbuyisane Ndlozi. But Abo Sihle, Abo Tambo, they've been very vocal on social media and at some points exchanging tweets, access with Floyd Shivambu, and rightfully saying to say the ideology has changed. Floyd, what you have been saying in the EFF and what you are saying there in the MK is total different things. That is neither here or there, actually, if you ask me. Because politicians change their mind. Now, obviously, whatever they believe in now, it's not guaranteed, set on stone, that is the same thing that they will believe in 2029, for example. So this issue of saying what Zuma could not do in the ANC in those 9 fruitful years, how is he going to do it now when he's 82 years old? I warned Dr. Mbuyisane Ndlozi about this. I warned the ANC about this. I said, guys, you cannot underestimate a chess master like Jacob Zuma. You simply cannot. It is at your peril, you go at your demise, only at your demise that you're going to, underestimate and downplay Jacob Zuma because he's 82 years, 83 years. You are making a mistake. That's what the ANC, listen to what the ANC was saying building up to the elections. Zuma is nothing. Zuma could not do it in the MK, in the ANC. Zuma, 9 wasted years, Zuma this, and look what happened. Look what happened. So the EFF is not in a position, in fact, because they only have 1 elections versus 1 elections to measure themselves against the MK. They are in absolutely no position to say what you could not do in the ANC. How are you going to do it? Can you not see that these are 2 different vehicles? I mean, Abo Sihle, they are politically, they've got a sound mind. I'm sure in his mind he knows that there is no liberation that was going to come through the ANC. The ANC is captured. The ANC has always been captured. And that party itself cannot liberate us as African people. They have shown us this year that they are even willing to work with their enemies. Every day is cat and mouse, them and the Democratic Alliance, just fighting every day. And they tell us, yeah, we know this is a strategic position. We don't like the DA. The DA will fight us, but we will work with them. We will rather work with this DA than to work with the progressive parties. So for me, Abo Sihle must not make the mistake that the ANC has made of underestimating Jacob Zuma. Guys, it's crazy. And when he was asked about the constituency that left with with Floyd? The answer also, I was not convinced with that answer.
Sihle, do you believe that these leaders that have resigned as the members of parliament in the EFF, they've left with certain group of people?
Look, I not at all. Look, some have left, but I think they are disappointed, especially the former deputy president. I think they're disappointed because they didn't get as many members as they thought that they would get. So, I mean, that's the second in command of the organization. If a deputy president can't take mass membership, Bomkwebane or Jimmy or Fanamukwe and the rest, it's not people that should have been our worry that, hey, yeah, we're talking about number 2 of the organization. Literally, after the president, that's the highest office. So if he failed to disrupt us nationally, where we see press conferences, marches to HQ and what would typically happen if a deputy president resigns in other organizations. That didn't happen. His resignation didn't have a major impact. Now it's just a group of friends that we took and brought in. So I know they don't have a constituency, so we're still fine, and we're going to demonstrate that in December.
We are proper.
Now, I have been in many organizations, many teams, many things. I have never seen when one person is not happy, when one person is chased, when one person is fired, that they leave alone. It does not happen like that. The way of which they are viewing this thing, Abu Sihle, is the same way the ANC viewed people living one by one in the ANC. They underestimate that saying of Africans, biggie by biggie, max meer. They underestimate the impact of one member leaving. And I explained it very well. I said, when King Said So stops, you can say King is nothing in the MK party or in the EFF party. Let's say EFF. He's nothing, he's a nobody. Nobody follows him. But one thing for sure, if I leave the EFF, I'm going to be able to influence my wife not to vote for the EFF. My wife is probably going to be angry already that the EFF has fired me or I've left EFF for whatever reason. My wife is going to say, baby, then what do we vote for? I say we vote for the ATM, for example. And my wife can be able to convince her brother. I can be able to convince my mother. My mother can convince my sister. The whole family, we can end up voting for ATM. Now, if you have got a narrow mind, you see me alone, but you don't see the family members. Now, let's say, for example, I only could influence 5 people to get out of the vote of the EFF and vote with me in the ATM. If that continues, how many more 5 people are you willing to lose as a party that decreased in its percentage from 10% to 9%, or from where were they, 11% or something to 9%? How much more do you want to decrease? Because now you chase away Temba goes with 5 people. You chase away Floyd goes with 20 people. Dalimpofu goes with how many more people are you? And there's people who are loyal, people who have never met me, but just because I left the EFF, they will also leave the EFF. They will be so unhappy. They've never met me. I don't even have to convince them. It's the same thing with Dr. Mbuyisa Njosi. You don't know how much impact it's gonna. You can say, the deputy president could not live with a big constituency, and the others Abu Batuban, Abu Sisiwe Mkhwebane know nothing. You don't know how loyal is the Ndebele kingdom to its people. You don't know the type of impact she has in KwaGafontein, KwaMhlanga, in KwaNdebele. You think Abu Sisiwe is nothing. You know, it's a very weak way of looking at things, Sihle. And I'm Sihle Mfana, I'm warning you. rephrase from this. Because refrain from this, because you don't know what the future holds for you and for your party. Be wise. Be wise. Never be happy with people leaving your party. You say it is unfortunate. This is how you answer this question, Antonio. It is unfortunate that the DP has left the party, and I'm sure there's some members that will follow him, just like the CIC has said. But our job as the EFF is to convince those members not to pursue following him and to stay in our party. That's how you answer that question. Don't say, that one left, he got no following, that other. No. I'm warning you, that's very difficult. But anyway, this is the interview that I saw there at it is the press or something. And go and follow them and subscribe on their channel also, and show love there for them. Weak interview, actually. Weak interviewer, let me say that, actually. So for me, this is the points that I could take out there. But what do you think about Sihle? Is he going to be a good member of parliament? Do you think the salaries might disturb them like it disturbed those ones of the Patriotic Alliance? Thousands of rands, they ended up losing focus there. They were taken out. So how is Sihle going to fare there in parliament? Do you think he will have some type of impact? And do you think he will still be, relevant to youth and student challenges as a member of parliament? Also, like to thank everyone that has subscribed to King Said So. We are trying to hit that 50,000 mark before the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Also, thank you so much for everyone who has supported the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. We got a quotation for the first building phase of what we're trying to do there. The quotation is more than what we have in our account currently. So we have to ask you guys to please make some contribution. December, because we really want to start the work there. But very soon in the coming weeks, I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to show up and support the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture, so that the construction can get underway. We're gonna do it in sessions because it's a big project that we estimated over the millions, over the millions. So it's gonna take a lot of work to do what we need to do there, but it's something that we are up to and we are going to do it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. But after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.